I personally did not try all of them yet, but I tried a bunch. And for 7 out of my 11 own projects, I use Hostinger. I like them a lot because they're really fast servers, especially for the price point. You can see it down here. The cheapest plan starts at $1 per month. In your language, the prices may differ, so just say the price you see in your language, yeah? Okay. So that's really cheap, especially compared to other hosting companies. They also offer 24/7 customer support, so that has always been really helpful in case I ever had any questions or needed support. And they also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So in case you want to try it out and then say, oh, I don't like making websites or I don't like the stuff I did, you can get your money back. So that's really good for beginners. Yeah, I like to use them for my projects, and in this project I will also use them in case you have any other web hosting company, or you maybe already have a web hosting company. That's no problem, you just have to figure out how to install an SSL certificate and how to install WordPress. Afterwards you can follow all the steps we're doing. In case you want to check out Hostinger, you can also click on the very first link in the video description of this tutorial once. You can also see it here. I will do it once, because that's my affiliate link. You can also see it here on the top. That's my affiliate code. That just means that I get a little commission in return for you clicking on that link. It doesn't cost you a cent more, but just helps me to create these free tutorials for you. So thanks for the support. I really appreciate it if you can click on that link. I also don't just recommend them because of that affiliate link. Other web hosting companies have that too, but I really like Hostinger and use them for my own projects, so it's only right to recommend them. Okay, we can close that tab and then scroll down, and here we see the different plans. We have the cloud hosting, business shared hosting, premium shared hosting, and single shared hosting. It's probably enough if you choose the single shared hosting, because it's enough for a simple WordPress site. In case you already know that you want to have multiple sites, so for example mydomain.com and thisbookisgreat.com, and maybe even more like that, you can also choose the premium shared hosting, because there you can have 300 websites. In the single shared hosting you can only have one website. If you want to see all the features and compare all of them, you can click on see all features and then compare everything. But it's probably best if you just start out with the single shared hosting. You can also upgrade later on. So that's what I'm gonna do. Here under single shared hosting, I'm gonna click on add to cart. And here we can now see the different prices. As you can see, if you buy it for a longer time, so for 4 years in advance, it gets a lot cheaper. If you only buy it every month, you have to pay $10 per month. If you pay for 12 months, you have to pay $3. For 24 you pay $159. So if you already know that you're going to keep your website for a longer time, it might make sense to consider getting a longer period, because you save a lot of money. So you can see for 24 months I now pay $45, and for the double amount I only pay $12 more. So that's significantly cheaper, but you also don't have to do it. You could also choose 12 months. 1 month might be a little too expensive, because you also have to consider that you have your 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you just want to try it out, you can also choose one of the longer ones and then get your money back in case you don't like it. So just choose the payment period you're comfortable with. I'm gonna stick to 12 for now. Down here they have some extra options, but we don't need them, so in case any of those are checked, uncheck it. You can also see that an SSL certificate is free and included. That's perfect, because we need that. And all that's left that we need is a domain name. In case you already own a domain, you can skip this step. But if you didn't buy a domain name yet, we also have to get that. We can get that at Hostinger too. So here in the bottom, we can search for our dream domain. For example, let's create a website.com. And if I search it, this one is already taken, unfortunately, but they will suggest some other domain extensions, so the ending of the domain would be different. Instead of .com, I could get .online, so you could do that. Or you could get a little creative and add maybe some dashes or some numbers in the domain. or just change it up a little bit to find one that's available. You could also get your domain somewhere else, for example GoDaddy, and then connect it to your Hostinger account. Good. So, if you found a domain, let's say in this case I'm going to choose .xyz because it's just for a tutorial and I want to save money. But if you want to choose any of those others, or you find one, you can just click on Add to Cart. So I'm gonna do that here. And now it's added to the cart. This one only costs me $1 per year. There are others, for example .net, .com, or one of those here on the left you can just see or search for extensions. May cost a little more, but they will average out at about $15 per month. Good, we have it. So I can go to the cart. And here we can now see we have single shared hosting plus the domain registration, and in total it costs me $45. In your case it might be another sum, so just always tell the sums you see. And then I will click on checkout now. Okay, and now they want us to create an account, so you can either sign up. In case you already have an account, you can also log in. But I'm gonna sign up now using my Gmail account, or you can also just type in your name, an email address and a password. I'm gonna do that really quick and then click on create account for checkout. Now my account was already created and I can choose a payment method. Here you can pay via credit card, cryptocurrencies or PayPal. In this case I'm gonna choose PayPal and do the payment. Great, the payment went through and I can set up my order by clicking on here. And we can click on Start Now. And because I bought the domain with Hostinger just now, I can choose my domain here. You could also buy another domain or select one that you have in another register. But let's choose that. Like I said, I'll link a tutorial on how to link domains in the top right of the video. So select. Now I have to fill in some contact information because I need to register the domain completely. So first name, last name, all that stuff. I'll fill it in and then I'll finish the domain registration. And once we land here, this might also look a little bit different for you. We can click on skip. I will start from scratch. Here you could also change the website location. So right now my server is in Europe, so the Netherlands. If I wanted to change that, I could click on here and choose one of the others. For example, if you're in Asia, Singapore might be better, or in Eastern Europe, Lithuania, but that's good. So select and then finish setup. No, we don't need that, so skip the special offer. Now we can wait. Great, and now we can click on Control Panel, so Manage Site. And here we are. Great, we can close that other tab. And this is the Control Panel. So let's click on the Hostinger logo here once. Good. So this is what you will see whenever you log in back to Hostinger. And this was already step number 2, get domain and hosting. Congratulations. Let's do step number 3, installing WordPress and SSL certificate. It's actually first SSL certificate and then WordPress. So let's do that. When we're here in Hostinger, you will either see this message here under setup, SSL certificate activation, pending setup, or also here in the top, you will see SSL. So let's click on SSL here in the top ones. We need an SSL certificate to make your site safer. For example, here on this page, right next to the domain, you see this log. And if I click on it, you will also see connection is secure. In case we don't have an SSL certificate for our site, we won't have this log, but instead it will say not safe. And sometimes Google might even block visitors from going to your site. So we definitely need an SSL certificate for our site. So here you will see SSL certification activation. We can click on setup, account, and here we choose our domain, then setup. And congratulations, your SSL has been activated successfully. In case you have some problems with that, you can also click on here on the bottom right and go to the help section. Now I just left the site, which wasn't too good. Okay. And then I can click on continue to control panel. And we get back in here and voila, we have an active SSL certificate. That's great. Now we can go on and install WordPress. So let's go back home. Here we see hosting. Let's create a website.xyz. That's good. And then we can click on manage right here. And here we can scroll down until we see website and then auto installer. So I can click on this. And then we see WordPress. So we can click on WordPress. Okay. For the domain, we don't choose HTTP, but we click on it and choose HTTPS. That's for the SSL certificate. Then here we choose our domain. And this we leave empty. So don't write anything in there. Then you can choose a username for your WordPress site. With this, you will later on log in. Same for the password, and make sure that it's a safe password. Here we also have the email address of the user, and we can change the website title if we wanted to already. In this case, I'm going to call this Tim Wessels, but we can change that later on too, so don't worry too much about that. For the version, we can just leave it like it is, and here you can select the language of your website. I'm gonna install it in English, but you install it in the language that you're speaking. So if you're making a Turkish tutorial, make it the Turkish language or whichever language you have. If your language is not available, choose English probably. So here you can just choose whichever language you want to use. I'm gonna stick to English. Okay, the rest is good, and then we can click on install. Now WordPress is installing. And WordPress was installed. Congratulations. If we want to take a look at the site, we can just open it in a new tab. You can see the link here. And that's it. In case it doesn't work right away, don't worry. This might be because you just registered the domain. Sometimes this takes a couple of hours. So just check back every couple of hours to see if it then works. If it does not, you can definitely leave a comment and I will try to help you out. Or you can also support the Hostinger support. Now we can already close Hostinger. And this is our website right now. You can see here too, it has the log, so the SSL certificate worked. That's great. So now we can check the third checkbox, install WordPress and SSL certificate. And let's get into the dashboard of WordPress, so where you control your site. To get in there, you have to type in your domain name /wp -admin. And here you can log in with the login information we just set up in the installation. Never? Awesome. And this is our WordPress dashboard. I can click on dismiss here, and here under the screen options, uncheck all these boxes to clean all that up a little bit and click on screen options again. Great. Okay, so this is the WordPress dashboard. In here you can control everything regarding your site, how it looks, what kind of functions it has, and everything. Here on the right side, you just have some unnecessary news about WordPress, so we just hid them. Here in the top, you have your admin bar. We will rarely use it, mostly to take a look at our site. You can do that by hovering over your page name and then clicking Visit Site. I'm gonna do that in a new tab. And here you can now see our site. Doesn't look too good yet, but we will work on that and make it look really good. So I can close that again. And here on the left, we have all of our navigation. So here we can manage our posts, so blog posts. We can manage our media, so all the images and even videos. You can manage your pages in case you have multiple pages, for example, home, contact us, about us. You can manage comments, This is just a plugin. You can manage the appearance, so the design of the store. You can manage plugins. I will explain that later. The users, for example, one user is you, that's just logged in. The tools and some settings. This may seem like a lot right now, but don't worry, we're gonna go through all these settings one by one and learn everything step by step. So don't be overwhelmed, we will learn all of this in the tutorial.